Hey guys, it's Charlie. It is the 10th of September, Friday. Obviously, we're in full court press between now and the November elections to do a lot of things. None of them are productive for our country, in my opinion. The facts are this. If this was 8 years ago, if this was 6 years ago, if this was when the Republicans controlled the House and the White House, we would be seeing anti-war protesters in the streets. We would be seeing Cindy Sheehan standing outside the Bush Ranch in Texas. We'd be seeing Code Pink all over the news. They're gone. They're gone. They don't exist as far as the mainstream media is concerned. These activists are still out there. They still believe in their cause. They just don't have a voice right now because their voice right now doesn't generate the opposition that the mainstream media needs and the power elite in Washington need to keep this country bickering amongst itself. Because we have the left, so-called left, in power now, we're going to see more flag-waving conservatives crying about a smaller government, crying about fiscal sanity, when the fact of the matter is they're no more fiscally responsible than the Democrats. They all work for the same players, guys. There is no difference between the two of them. We're going to hear a smaller government. We need more Sarah Palin-like conservative values. What is that? Are we that dumb in this country that we're going to believe that just because the Republicans take over the House or the Senate, that we're going to see any fiscal sanity in this nation? I hope we're not that dumb, but you know what? We are that dumb because the narrative now isn't, the Federal Reserve demolishing the value of our dollar by 95% since 1913. We don't talk about that. We're going to talk about all the failed attempts to revive the economy by this president. The fact of the matter is the economy was failed before he took office. They're not doing anything to fix it. Everything that's being done is to prop up Wall Street and Wall Street alone. And it wouldn't matter if McCain was in the office. It wouldn't matter if Bush was in the office or Clinton. That is irrelevant at this point. The issues that should be talked about are not going to be talked about. How about the issue that the 50 wealthiest congressmen in 2009 have increased in 2009, let me say that again, because 2009, arguably the worst year since the Great Depression, and even more arguably, the beginning of the Greatest Depression. In that year, the 50th richest members of Congress increased their wealth by $84.1 million to $1.4 billion. While the people of this country were told, wait, hang on, guys, as soon as we bail out Wall Street, as soon as we make the banks whole and complete, recovery will come to Main Street. Has that happened? As these 50 wealthiest congressmen increased their wealth by 80 million, has Main Street healed at all? Well, if we look at a sampling of history, since 1979, 40% of the manufacturing in these jobs under things such as NAFTA and GATT and globalism and free trade, 40% of these jobs have evaporated from this country. We're not going to hear that talked about in this upcoming midterm election because it isn't profitable for the people in Washington to talk about such things. If you talk about restoring manufacturing jobs to this country, then you're trying to drag the nation back into the dark ages. Black is white, white is black, up is down. This is the country we live in. 1 out of 8 people are on food stamps in this nation right now. That is staggering. Those are percentages larger than people who were standing in bread lines during the Great Depression. 1 out of 6 people in this country right now are on some kind of anti-poverty program. And if you lose a job in this economy, at a minimum, it's going to take you 8 months to find another job. If we look at subjects such as what the federal government should be doing, securing our borders, they want to talk about security, and we're sending troops all over the world for this so-called security. Yet if you go to the state of Arizona and you're 100 miles north of the Mexican border, you're going to find signs, the federal government warning you that you might be murdered by Mexican drug runners if you are in this area at night. Yet, what are we going to talk about over this weekend that's going to be memorializing the 9/11 tragedy? We're going to be talking about, should we burn Korans in Florida? Should we build a mosque in New York? Why are we talking about these? Because they're further distractions to do one thing, to keep the sheeple afraid. Do you see? That's the whole game. Keep the cattle afraid so that you can understand that the government has got your back. They have your best interest at heart. Don't worry about the reality that this country is falling apart beneath your feet. It's more important for you, if you're a Muslim, to be ticked off that this preacher with 50 people in his church are going to burn Qurans this weekend. Or if you're a flag-waving patriot, you should be all upset because they want to build a mosque in New York City. It's absolute insanity. I'll attach this entire article with this video. And if you want to do something, because I get this a lot, people saying they understand the problem, and a lot of people on YouTube here talking about the problem. What can we do about it? Well, let me tell you what you can do about it. Spread this video, spread videos like this video from people like Warren Pollock, Dimcad, and there's many others that I'm leaving out. Spread their videos around, because the fact of the matter is you by yourself can't do anything. But until we get a mass awakening in this country, people shaking off their mental shackles to this left-right garbage, nothing is going to change. So if you want to do something about it, I appreciate the comments, and I understand your frustration in the feeling there is nothing you can do. But if you wake up one person and that number grows exponentially, then we will really have something going in the right direction. That's all I got.